Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of our podcast. I am enjoying this wonderful fall day, and we are recording this on a Sunday instead of a Saturday because, well, we were busy. People get busy on Saturdays. Um, Thank you, Warfield, for joining me. How are you?
I'm well, you?
I'm doing pretty well. So
Okay.
let's talk about our topic for today. What is our topic that you chose for us to discuss for today?
How can we not talk about, we've been talking about it, but we haven't talked about it, the State Fair of Texas. And
Yes.
there's lots to digest. As I have recently learned, there is more to the State Fair than a bunch of amusement rides.
Yes, there's also food and there's some shows and there are frozen ranch waters, which I got to try. I actually went to the state fair this year. I've already been, I went with my godmother on a Thursday morning, which is the best time to go to the state fair because it is not full at all. There's still plenty of people around, but it's not like packed or crowded. And I actually had myself a drink at 10 something in the morning, and I ended up running. I didn't tell you this. I ended up running into my sixth grade teacher right when I was at the tip peak of me being a little tipsy because I didn't have breakfast either. So I was kind of like, I'm sure she thought I was a drunk, but thank
Who,
you.
which team?
Mrs.
Miss
Raga.
Russell?
No, Mrs. Raga.
Okay.
St.
Oh yeah,
Monica.
sixth grade.
Yeah.
Yeah, sixth grade.
So anyways, okay,
Nice.
so I was being a little facetious there with my little comments about there's more to the state fair. Oh yeah, there's also food. So what were you getting at?
There's the State Fair does a lot for the community. It's been recently pointed out, and I'm really happy to have been pointed this out. But we're going to get into a little bit about what the State Fair does for the community, because sometimes we forget this is a major endeavor in Dallas, Texas, and not only is it a major driver of, um, I guess, the economy,
Mm-hmm.
it also does much more than most people realize, including myself. We start digging in a little bit on this and searching the website and things like that. And you go, oh, slap in the face. Guess what? Somebody tells you something, you're like, well, this is good to know. So we're here to share that also. Some of the things that the State Fair does for Dallas, and especially South Dallas, Southern Dallas, and some of the opportunities that are there, grants and things of that nature, we'll kind of throw in a little bit. This is all available. There's a website, bigtex.com. So for all the details of this, if you want to follow through on some of this, you can go there and also get some of this information. But we want to do in part this, along with the fried charcuterie board that the State Fair of Texas is serving this year. It is about the food. If you're young, it's about the amusement rides, the games. If you're old, it's about the crafts, the agricultural, the animals, the food, the food, the food. Everybody's, it has become an obsession with the State Fair of Texas to see what they can fry every year to
Mm-hmm.
get people to come. They always have a contest, new food for the State Fair. And it's always something fried. And this year we have fried lasagna, a fried
Yeah,
charcuterie board.
this is things people already know. Come on, let's get to what
I
what
know,
what
but we need to
exactly.
know what's going on, what we're doing here. And they get the contest. And they also have contests during the fair. You'll go and there's baking contests. And these are the things, if you don't go to the fair regularly, there's things to go see. Of course, there's the exhibits. We all know about the car show, which is at one point was the premier new car show of the year because new cars came out in September, and of course the fair's in October. So a lot of the manufacturers, this would be the first glance for anyone. The State Fair of Texas was the first glance for anyone to see the new models. It has expanded greatly the amount of vehicles you can look at and gawk at and sit in. But it used to be a premier event. I think there's now more. You get more people or more events with car shows than there used to be.
Yeah, and this year I know especially car shows a pretty big deal. I actually went to the bird show, which I had never been to before, and that was pretty intense. But anyways, let's get into the like the bigger kind of like the meat, the turkey leg of our conversation for today. What exactly are you talking about when or let's talk about some of the things that we're going to point out when it comes to like how the state fair is kind of like it presents a positive impact in South Dallas. Number one, we can talk about jobs. We can talk about how the state fair provides thousands of jobs, temporary jobs, but still some jobs for people in Dallas. And I believe some people from outside of Dallas come in and will temporarily do some work. And then there's also the cultural aspect of it. There's always some
Mm-hmm.
sort of cultural display. Or a couple of cultural displays this year in the Women's Center. I think it was the Women's Center. They had a big Dia de los Muertos, um, like the altars, the ofrendas, and stuff like that. And they actually had one for Uvalde. They had a huge one for all the people who died in Uvalde. I think there's about 19 like mini altars and one big altar for that. And then there was a couple of vendors there from Peru, Argentina, from all over the place, selling some goods, purses, jewelry, all that good stuff. Was there something specific that you were wanting to bring
Well,
up?
I was
Because you
going to talk
mentioned a
about big
website.
picture because pardon?
You mentioned a website. Is
Yeah, it's bigtex.com.
okay.
And under supporting tech, now bigtex.com talks about the fair. I mean, you get ticket price information,
Right.
things like that, where you can get discount, tells you what type of discounts are available, buying group tickets, things of that nature, anything, around that, planning your visit. But the area I'm talking about the most is something called Supporting Texans.
Mm.
And some of the themes are building capacity of nonprofits. They help that, economic development, and educational support. And they also offer some scholarship programs in this. It's under what we call the Big Tex Community Connection or State Fair Community Connection. If I
I was
can
like,
learn to
wait, what?
talk today. So these are things that are available to everybody. The Big Tex Scholarship Program. They've been awarding scholarships since 1992. It's something that you can apply. There's how to apply is on the website, and it's just some kind of there's what the criteria are, who can apply. It's for some of the the independent school districts around Dallas, and then there's a couple different ones. The 180 Craft Scholarship, the Youth Livestock Scholarship, talks about that. The Seasonal Employee Scholarship. So you talked about there's a massive amount of jobs, and they are we're talking about 3 weeks of the fair. It runs from 9 o'clock in the morning until I don't know what, midnight, 10, 11, 12 at night. I can't
I
remember the
think
exact
probably
time it closes.
11. Yeah.
11. So there's a lot of people employed. A lot of the rides are temporary that come to the state fair, the games, but the exhibit buildings are always there, and there's exhibits going around year round at the state fair park. But there's some new ones, and of course all the vendors, the agriculture. So there's a huge amount of people that get employed at this. It's a great opportunity for a lot of people. Will open their own food stand there, or they'll bring their own products to sell. So there's a lot of local vendors involved that get an opportunity to display wares. So the fair, we always talk about what it is. Going to as a kid, you focus on 2 or 3 things. I remember as a kid, we used to force ourselves. Okay, before we go to ride the rides, we had to go see an exhibit or 2. We were trying to be good kids, 8, 9, 10 years, 11 years old, or whatever it was. But we would make the effort to go see that. Of course, we saw the cars too, but some of the other things, because it's a phenomenal complex, and it has a lot to offer. That if you've never been, or if you go casually, yes, it does get a little crowded sometimes, so it's hard. But you got to see the pig races. But you can see much more than that. And as time has gone on, they've added quite a few exhibit buildings. You just kind of have to explore a little bit. They have some rides that are scare the bejesus out of me now, or they used to, where they had these people swinging from hundreds of feet in the air. That just scares me to death. But to the scholarships and the supporting the community, they do have that.
I kind of want to give
the,
a few kind of like fun facts about the
okay, go
State Fair
ahead.
of Texas, but it's been around for 132 years, and it was designated a National Historic Landmark in 1986. And so you were talking a little bit about the scholarships. So it says through the State Fair of Texas Youth Livestock Auction and Scholarship Program, the fair has awarded more than 24 million in auction awards and scholarships to date. So I'm not sure when exactly they started the
One of them
scholarships.
said 92. One of the things I saw, one
92.
of the
Okay,
scholarships,
so
92,
24 million, let's say if that's true, since 92, pretty decent amount. Maybe like I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna waste anyone's time trying to do the math. But then it says that so speaking about the cultural sites and some of the exhibits, it's home to the world's largest collection of Art Deco structures. So that's pretty cool. I did not know that. I really like Art
Yeah.
Deco, and you can definitely get that feel when you're walking around. But then it's also uh, it has like a couple of different sort of like cultural significance. So a lot of people might go there for science and nature programs. Like if you're a like kindergartner. I remember when I was in preschool and kindergarten, we went there for I think the aquarium and for one of the science
Yeah.
things. But then also it says that the African American Museum exhibits is one of the largest collections of African American folk art in the country. I didn't get to see that one. I don't know where that would be, but I plan on going again, so I need to figure out where that is. But there was a few Hispanic cultural exhibits, and I actually got this hat from the state fair, which I am wearing right now because my hair is all over the place.
And some of the other things that they do, there's something called Big Tex Urban Farms.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh yeah, that
it's
was actually something I wanted to. Is this new?
since 2016.
Okay, so it's
It's
fairly
something
new.
they've instituted since 2016. And where did I see this? But it's basically something that's developed in the neighborhoods around the fair park to help them. Let me see if I can pull back. For some reason, I jumped pages here and I can't get to it.
But this,
And
yeah,
I
I
was
think I
reading
know
the,
what you're getting at because it's like they have partnerships with a couple of farms around Dallas, or in
mm-hmm.
Dallas County or something like that, and some of them are like sustainable farms. Like I don't know if there's like different programs and farms and a combination of programs on farms. I don't know, something like that, and a lot of them will show like different methods of farming and agriculture. And that was actually something that I wanted to see. I saw that there was an exhibit having to do with like sustainable farming, and I wanted to see that, but I couldn't. I just
Yeah, it says
forgot.
right here. It says Big Tex Urban Farms. It's
Mm-hmm.
in 2016, the State Fair of Texas introduced Big Tex Urban Farms, a revolutionary mobile agricultural system in the heart of Fair Park. As a testing ground for the project, the fair used an 80 by 80-foot area normally used to house the Gateway Pavilion during the State Fair season. Employees from various departments worked with the Fair Park area company to develop 100 raised planting beds. So basically they're using it to introduce farming to people who wouldn't normally get a chance. Also, it invests, it's a big investment in the neighborhood itself. And they, built on this. It connects like-minded agriculture entities and provides fresh produce to organizations focused on hunger and healthy lifestyle programs. And that's another thing one of the fair does is it helps with the North Texas Food Bank. Also, some of the funds they raise help North Texas Food Bank, and area school children are given free tickets to go to the fair.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also some of the things that the fair offers people in the Dallas community,
So
Dallas area community.
a quick note, I actually have some numbers on the North Texas Food Bank deal. So this is for last year. The 2022 facts haven't come out yet because the fair is still going on.
Working on it.
Yeah. But so it says that more than 300 folks volunteered supporting the Feed the Need promotion, raising nearly 200,000 pounds of canned food items at the state fair gates, which equates to more than 236,000 meals for the North Texas Food Bank. So that's just kind of an idea of what maybe this year will look like. That those numbers were from last year.
Didn't it, like, once there's a day where that you bring it, everybody brings a canned good and gets a discounted ticket or something?
And not that I've seen, but I would not. Yeah, not that I've seen. I don't know. Oh, here's another fun one. Approximately 525,000 Fletcher's corny dogs were sold during the 24-day run of the State Fair of Texas. Yeah, that's a lot of hot dogs. You got to get your or corn dogs.
I haven't had mine
Sorry.
yet. I haven't had mine yet. I'll be going hopefully next weekend, so we can do it. And I'm trying to pull up some interesting little schedule for the rest of the
fair. For the rest of the fair.
Because today's the 15th, right? No, today's the 9th.
Today's the 9th. Today's not the 15th.
This month is dragging.
It is.
Okay, so let's talk about what we have going on. I got the. Oh, okay. Yeah, you can get the fair. I'll just say this. You can get the fair schedule on their website. They have a Sunday through Thursday schedule events and a Friday and Saturday schedule events. And that's on the bigtex.com website. Also, if you think a little green, you can ride the DART rail system.
Oh, that's true.
To the front gate. I mean, literally to the front gate. So you can go to any of their rail lines, whether it be orange, green, red, blue, whichever one, get downtown and then take the green one from downtown to the fair, which will be going east. The green does go out into East Dallas, but so if you're coming from East Dallas on the normal green line, you can just ride it into the fair, but everybody else would come downtown, switch to the green line and take it from there into the fair. And it's just a short 5-10 minute ride. It's not very long at all. That goes through, passes by Deep Ellum or parts of Deep Ellum, and you're at the fair.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a great way to, there is parking. There is an enormous amount of parking, but still.
It's $40 for parking.
It can get really hectic, and it's $3 a ticket to ride or $6 all day to ride DART. Mm-hmm. So if there's just a couple of you, you're automatically saving a bunch of money by paying $12 for an all-day fair DART ticket versus having to pay that much for parking.
I know this is random, but the people who are on the seasonal team for the State Fair of Texas, they get paid $15.21 an hour, so this year it's $15.21 an hour, and before it was $12.38 an hour. Like last year, 2021, they were getting paid $12.38 an hour. So still barely not a livable wage, but I'm glad to see that there's a jump in that.
And a lot of people do this for extra money.
Yeah.
They'll work the Saturday and Sunday in the evenings, and then you get some extra people who will take time off to actually just work it because they have a booth or something there too, which they're not getting paid. There are people that support the booths, but some of the vendors, they're
not there
to sell their wares. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a different thing. So let me see. It's October 9th. El Nuevo Mison is playing tonight somewhere.
Warfield, they can look this up.
I know, but I'm just trying to get an idea of what's going on.
This is more for you, so you can see when to go. This episode is this episode is a shorter episode. Number one, because it's Sunday. Number two, Cotton Bowl. We just finished up the Cotton Bowl. My dad's happy because he's a Texas fan. So when they won, I heard that it was pretty shocking for my dad.
Oh yeah, and there's it's the UT. It's the Red River Rivalry. It's not technically the Cotton Bowl. It's played in the Cotton Bowl.
Oh, sorry, I don't know. I don't care about football.
And anyway, it's the Red River Rivalry. It's the University of Texas versus Oklahoma, and it was a stunning game, and I didn't expect what happened to happen yesterday. So, yeah, we've had some fun with some commentary, but we'll be nice here today.
all I will say is that I was at a conference yesterday, and when I was driving, someone from Oklahoma, this was after the game happened, and the conference, we didn't have any internet or anything like that. And so So when I was driving on the roads, already the game had ended, and someone from Oklahoma cut me off, like sped from my left side, cut me off, and then like cut two other people off, and then was just like weaving in and out of traffic and was just like driving like crazy. And I noticed I had an Oklahoma license plate, and so I was like, I actually thought in my mind, I was like, oh, I guess Oklahoma won because this guy's off to go celebrate towards downtown Dallas, but nope, they lost. So
He was not in a good
he
mood.
was not in a good mood. Which, if you're not in a good mood, at least you still need to drive safe. I don't care what kind of mood you're in. Don't cut people off. Anyways, on
No,
that
don't cut
note,
people off.
what is there anything that you want to say before we wrap up this lovely, nice, calm edition of our podcast?
Yeah, I was just checking a couple of things to make sure we covered everything. We do encourage you to go. It's not just a bunch of fun, it is, but like I said, it was pointed out to me that there is more to the state fair. There's the huge community involvement. We really just kind of touched on it. You can go to bigtex.com and learn more under community. We talked about using the rail, the DART rail. There are also buses that go by there, but if you can get on DART, it's a little more efficient. It's somewhat more reasonable than paying for parking. And we hope that you enjoy it when you go, if you've
Yeah.
not already been.
Drink plenty of water. That's all I gotta
Oh,
say.
yeah. It's
Okay.
going to be hot. It's still hot in October in Texas.
It is. So make sure to drink plenty of water. Um, enjoy the free shows, and don't get too sick trying out all those fried foods. Okay. All right.
Yeah, try. It's only one day.
It's only one day. Yeah. But then for a week, you're like sick. That whatever. It's a free country. Do whatever you want to do. All right. Goodbye, everyone. And we will talk to you later.